This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I'm absolutely thrilled to be speaking with upstate New York creator, the incredible Max Lee. But before we get to our interview, here's a sneak peek at Max Lee's incredible lyric video of his song, Magic Song. Max, how are you?
I'm doing great. Well, thank you so much for having me. How are you doing today?
Max, your lair in Troy, New York is freaking awesome. I feel like it's like a fun house for creators.
Thank you. It's a small room, but great, yeah.
Is that where you create most of your stuff?
Well, it's where I'm at right now. I go through different spaces and different phases. So, this is where the magic's been happening lately. Yeah.
Well, speaking of magic, look at this segue, Max. Talk to me a little bit about Magic Song and how that all came about for you.
Yeah, of course. So the song's actually kind of old for me. I mean, I'm always creating stuff, but it finally came to fruition. I had a really good buddy of mine, Jordan Franzino, did an amazing job mixing it. There's actually another version of the song and even a further version of that, like an edit that will probably come on the full album version. But the song is about it's about coming together in a big way and how we as human beings kind of have to work together, right? To get through things. So, I mean, that's kind of been a theme of this whole record that I've been working on, trying to include other creators, other artists, other musicians and visual people, and just trying to get my girlfriend, Allie, she did an amazing job in the video. So yeah, and Jordan with the mixing. So I'm trying to bring people together, and it's really about working together and kind of creating a future together. Yeah, that's really what it's
like. You're creating a collective in a safe space for artists to be their best selves. I mean, it honestly sounds a lot like what FENIX360 is doing. You have artists from all disciplines coming together in a collective to collaborate and to make some money by, selling, whether it's NFTs, merch, but also an opportunity to just be in a safe space to be the best version of yourself. And I guess for you, Max, I'm curious to know, where did you grow up and when did you realize that music was going to be a really big part of your life?
Sure. Well, it's been New York, New York, New York for me. I mean, I've moved around. I've called a lot of places home, but I always like to say that I don't really have a home besides New York as a whole, and it's a pretty big home. So I love that. When I started playing music, it was a time period in my life when I was pretty young, but I didn't really know that I was going to be into it. It was kind of like during school, like playing the violin or the trumpet or something weird like that, right? And kind of learning to read in band, but I didn't really get interested in it until a drum set got in front of me. And then once I started sitting behind a kit, I didn't even have interest in that, really. I got to give credit to seeing my cousin's guitar for the first time. I saw that and I was like, okay, well, that's an interesting thing. What is that? That's not like just some thing from school that I have to learn. Like, he just wants to do that. Like, what's that all about? So yeah, and then drums really got me started. That's really been my first instrument. So that kind of set me down a whole new path,
That's
playing with my
awesome. Well, you mentioned a greater album. Can you give a little bit more of what the audiences can expect and when they can expect
friends.
the full album?
Yeah, so this has been in the works for a while. I'll say there's a hint somewhere in this room, but a visual hint, but I'm not going to give it away right now. So it's here, though you might not know it. It's kind of like that. The title's still in the works, even. But I can say that is the time, and the the title has to do with the concept of time, and it boils together, the past 3 years of creating, um, you know, and there's been like a total process of buy it, use it, break it, fix it, cut it, paste it, export it, bounce it, send it, receive it, redo it, send it through a this and that and the other. So I don't really know exactly when it's going to be done. I mean, a lot of this is relying on some other people that I'm working with, which is a cool experience, and it's been like super vulnerable for me, and everyone's been like super cool. But I'm not always in control of when the magic's right? So when they feel it and when I feel it. So it's kind of, this thing, but I'm hoping, uh, you know, somewhere early next year it could materialize and finally be completed. So
It's incredible, Max. Well, listen,
yeah.
I could speak with you all day. I want to let the audience know for more on the amazing Max Lee. You can read more about him right below this video. Final question for you, Max. I mean,
Cool.
look, this has been a tough time for all artists, and I'm curious to know how you were able to kind of keep your creative juices flowing throughout these past 2 years.
Totally. It's a great question. It's been a really tough time. And, I think it's really important. Art is so important to getting ourselves and each other through tough times. So I think the top three things for me is like, one, get out there, into the real world. Don't lock yourself in your lair. Like, go out, talk to people, interact with other artists, find a way, just do it. It's in the real world, like going open mics for me has been a huge thing. Going to the park, whatever it is, you show up and you never know what kind of magic can just happen out there. So that's a big one. Um, the second would be really just trying to lean on other people and like work together, like this. I've been doing some other stuff with the group, supporting other artists and like trying to really lend help, like genuinely to others. Like, that's been like super healing for me, and it's been super really just powerful in general. So like I think that, and I think the final thing is to just like not be in a rush. Like, sometimes we're not feeling it as artists, and that's fine. Just kind of like, you know it it's okay to like relax and not focus on like your creativity for a moment, and then get back into it when you feel it, and just trusting the process. Like, when you don't feel it, that's okay, and just being okay with that, and knowing and trusting that that's going to come back, and that the spark's going to reignite. You have to focus on that. Don't completely forget it. You have to cultivate it. I'm not saying just forget about it, but trust yourself and let yourself relax. It's
Absolutely.
important.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
Max, I think that's such great advice, especially in a time when we as artists, well, all people, but especially artists, we've had to sit in the stillness. And I think you're absolutely right. I think there is something about the leaning into the path of least resistance and taking this time to rejuvenate. And I'm totally with you. I agree with you 5,000%. Max Lee, I'm so excited you're coming on board this
Thanks.
amazing new app, FENIX360, but also I'm excited that we
Yes.
are now connected, my friend.
Yes, it's been really a pleasure. Great questions. Well, I'm looking forward to continuing to help, and I think Phoenix is just so cool, and the way that it's been bringing different creators together. It's aligned with the whole. We're aligned on this one. So
Amen, my friend. Amen.